Hi there, everyone. I'm Ashley Billington, and welcome into the Campfire, our summer camp show, where we break down districts from around the greater Houston area. And this week, we are going to introduce you to the teams of 13-6A, and we'll start with our film session.
The 13-6A season could play out very similar to the way it did last year, with College Park and the Woodlands battling for the top spot. And if you had to pick a favorite in the preseason, it would have to be College Park to repeat as district champs. They return a big chunk of their highly successful offense, including quarterback Ty Buckman and Baylor commit Cody Medinka at tight end. That's a lot of firepower. And with 3 first-team all-district players returning on defense, plus D1 recruit Marcus Scott at defensive back, the Cavaliers are looking forward to a great season. Meanwhile, the Highlanders are replacing a lot, but what they don't have to replace is hard-hitting linebacker Martrell Harris. On offense, they will be grooming a new quarterback, but wideout Ben Ferguson should ease the transition. In a 6-team district, the Woodlands should have more than enough to make the postseason. Conroe Oak Ridge won a playoff game for the first time since 2002, but they did it with running back Alton McCaskill leading the way. He's gone now, but what returns is possibly the best secondary in the district with Sammy Keith and Dexter Green. Vying for the last playoff spot should be interesting between Conroe, Willis, and Grand Oaks. Conroe went winless in district play last year, but returned the offensive and defensive newcomers of the year. Willis went winless the entire season last year until they pulled off wins in their last 2 games against Conroe and Grand Oaks to make the postseason. They hope to get going earlier this year. And Grand Oaks has some talent returning on defense that they hope will lead them to a few wins.
Some really great teams in this district and some perennial powers as well. They have some really good players on these teams, though. So let's introduce you to them and our players on the rise.
College Park's Cody Medinka is one of the biggest targets in the entire district. Medinka comes in at 6'4", 235 pounds, and is often a mismatch when he spreads out as a receiver. He made 16 catches for 231 yards and 3 scores last year, as the Cavaliers had a memorable season. However, Medinka isn't just a great route runner with good hands. He dominates in the blocking game as well. Cody will be taking his talents to Waco to play for Baylor in college. While there is plenty more offensive talent in this district, some of the best athletes can be found on defense, like the Woodlands linebacker, Martrell Harris. He is one of the most devastating hitters in all of Houston. Harris can read where the play is going and gets there fast to deliver the blow. Martrell has plenty of offers, including Baylor, Arkansas, and Houston. Marcus Scott from College Park is probably the best defensive back in the district. Scott had 2 picks last year and returned 1 for a touchdown as quarterbacks rarely threw his way. On special teams, Scott returned a blocked field goal for 6 as well. As a lockdown corner, Scott got plenty of offers but committed to play for LSU after his senior season. Conroe had 2 newcomers of the year, including defensive end Braden Jones. Jones at 5'7" may be short in stature, but he uses his strength to fend off blockers and get to the ball carrier. Jones will switch from defensive end to defensive tackle, but he often needs to be double teamed. Oh, and by the way, when Jones hits you, it hurts.
Phenomenal players in this district. You know, there's some really great coaches in this district as well who help shape these men. We are going to introduce you in our Media Day segment to College Park head coach Lonnie Madison.
We're talking 13-6A, and we have with us head coach at College Park, actually the reigning coach of the year in District 13-6A, Lonnie Madison, Cavalier head coach. Coach, talk a little bit about last year before we dive into this year. You guys had the new district just formed. There's a 6-team district, so you're looking for teams to play as it was, and then COVID kind of hit. But once you got into district play, you guys kind of handled your own with that great finale with the Woodlands at the end there where you ended up getting the district title. How did you think last year went for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Last year, last year was my 4th year It was the first year that I had, a freshman class come through for all 4 years. So it was a special senior class. We knew they were a talented group. We knew we had a talented group of juniors behind them as well. So, I think we were close the 2 years prior to making the playoffs. We were in a tough 9-team district with the Klein ISD schools and the Conroe ISD schools. And so we knew we were close. I think we were able to kind of take that next step last year, kind of get over the hump. We finished 8-2, one district, like you said.
Talk a little bit about the district. You spoke on it a little bit, but you got 5 other teams. They're losing big guys too. McCaskill's no longer in this district. Teddy Knox is not in this district anymore. Talk about how you think that your district will kind of fold out.
Yeah, I think that the coaches that we got in this district do a phenomenal job scheme-wise. So, you don't get a whole lot of easy touchdowns or easy plays. Like there's some really good coaches in our district.
Excellent. And hopefully this year you got another nice run in you, and we'll see what happens in the playoffs there with your experienced team. I appreciate you joining with me, and we will talk to you down the road.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Coach Madison, thank you so much for joining us here on the Campfire. You can catch the entire interview with the College Park head coach and Ward Fasold on Thursday in our Media Day segment. We've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube that'll be streaming on. Now we have the one, the only Inside High School Sports Insider for the Houston area, Matt Harris, on to break down this district and the district breakdown.
All right, district breakdown time. I'm here with Matt Harris, our Inside High School Sports Insider. We're talking 6A now. We're done with 5A, and we're going to start in 13-6A. 6-team district up in the Woodlands, Conroe area. Not a lot of teams, but a lot of talent, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. And if there's any district that deserves to have a smaller number of teams, it's this one, after what the teams in this district had to compete against with being lumped in with all of Klein ISD the 2 years prior. And so last year was an interesting season for this district. It was really a 2-horse race at the top with the Woodlands and crosstown rival College Park, which won the district. I think everyone expected the Woodlands to kind of win the district, and College Park shocked a lot of people. And so I want to hit on the Cavaliers real quick because they return a lot of talent. 2 outstanding wide receivers in Alex Bregman and Holden Rook, and Baylor-bound tight end Cody Mladenka, in addition to Ty Buckman at quarterback. I mean, you return 3 of your top receiving targets, the quarterback, and they return some talent on defense as well in Andrew Edmondson and Perry Kyle, I believe. I hope I'm saying that right.
Give it a shot. That's good.
Yeah, we'll give it a shot. The College Park's, bar none, returning a lot of talent, and they should be right there, back up at the top of this district, competing for a title. And again, if anyone can push them, it might be the Woodlands, who returns Ben Ferguson at wide receiver, Bradley Warren on the defensive line, both first-team all-district performers last season. They'll miss Connor DeShiro at quarterback, but this is a program that's known for producing a lot of talent and always being really good. So my concern with the Woodlands replacing some talent isn't maybe as much as it would be with some other teams. So I expect College Park and the Woodlands to be competing right at the top of this district once again.
We'll see how this district plays out. Next week, we're going to talk to you about 14-6A. I appreciate you coming on, Matt. Have a good week.
You too. Thank you.
Matt Wiz, thank you so much. That was so insightful as always. I am really excited for that Woodlands College Park matchup. It's already circled on my calendar for sure. That's all we have for this week's episode of the Campfire, breaking down 13-6A. Next week, come back as we will be breaking down 14-6A, the spring district. It'll be a really good one. Until then, I'm Ashley Billington, and thank you so much for joining us here on the Campfire.